Today we are going to do chapter 7 and chapter 8. That is our income statement and statement of financial position. AS level board paper question. That is, your paper code is 9706. October, November 2020 paper we are doing. Paper 21. Paper 2. Paper 21 we are doing. Let's go through the sum and see what the sum is telling us. Now, if I see the sum and I see something below it, I see that they have asked me to prepare a corrected income statement for the year ended 31st of December 2019. Since they've asked me to prepare a corrected income statement, it means that they have already prepared one income statement and that income statement is incorrect. I have to prepare the corrected income statement. No problem. We will prepare the corrected income statement. Let's scroll through and see what else they have asked us. They have also asked us to calculate the balance of capital. And there are some theory questions which we will look at later. Let's go to the income statement part. So this is the question. I'll just zoom it a little so that even you all can see it clearly. Okay. I hope the question is very clear. Ismail has opened a retail business on 1st January 2019 with the following assets and liabilities. He has bank balance of 7,500. He has non-current assets and there is a bank loan which is repayable in 2022. If I see, even if I say that the books of accounts is closing on 2020, 2 years, so this bank loan which is repayable in 2022, it is a non-current liability. I'm just trying to read and interpret the question. He prepared a draft income statement for the year ended 31st December 2019. And this draft income statement has certain errors. The draft income statement has certain errors. Let's see. We always do revenue less cost of sales gives us gross profit. I don't see anything wrong as of now in the revenue less cost of sales, but then I don't know later what will happen. Add discount received, this is the other income. And then they are giving me the gross profit. It means that after adding the discount received, they are giving me the gross profit, which is wrong. The gross profit should come above this. No problem. We will correct the income statement. Okay. Add bank loan. Bank loan is a non-current liability. You do not add it to the gross profit. So this part will get erased off. Less expenses. Carriage inward. As far as we know, carriage inward is a part of cost of sales. It is added to purchases. So this is not added to purchases and it is shown as an expense, which is wrong. So this is wrong, which has to be incorporated. This has to go away. Let's see. Drawings is treated as an expense. This is again wrong. Drawings should be deducted from the capital. General expense is an expense. Insurance is an expense. Rent is an expense. Loan interest is an expense. Rest all is correct. But other things are wrong. Whatever was wrong, I have highlighted for sake of convenience. Profit for the year is 32,930. Certainly this profit is a wrong profit because it includes the balance sheet items which shouldn't be included. So after reading, I know that the format is wrong, number one. Now let's see. Adjustments. Following had not been accounted for. If this was not accounted for, it means that it has to be adjusted. And adjustments has two effects. Ismail had taken goods for his own use. What are the two effects of goods for own use? Try and recollect the two effects of goods for own use. Goods for own use is deducted from cost of sales and it is added to the drawings. So whatever is my drawings, goods for own use, cost is 420, selling price is 630. Goods for own use will be added to the drawings but at cost price. And it would also be subtracted from the cost of sales. So let's see, let's try and incorporate how will we make our cost of sales. So in this figure over here, in this place over here, I'm making cost of sales. Because cost of sales has a lot of adjustments according to me. What is the original figure of cost of sales that we have been given? The original figure of cost of sales that we are given, that is as per the draft income statement. Original figure of cost of sales that we have been given as per draft income statement is how much? It is this. As per draft income statement, the cost of sales that is given to us is 182,360. We know that goods for own use has to be subtracted from the cost of sales because these are not the cost of those goods that we have sold. So we will subtract goods for own use which is 420. Because I'm subtracting, I'm putting it in bracket. We also need to subtract carriage inward, or we also need to add the carriage inward because carriage inward forms a part of the purchases and carriage inward is added to purchases. So I am adding it to cost of sales because I don't have a figure of purchases. So add carriage inward. So I have corrected this now. How much to add for carriage inward? 1020. However, if you look at the adjustment, they are saying that the carriage inward of 1020, this includes a capital expenditure. Capital expenditure never comes in. Capital expenditure, it never comes in our income statement, trading section or the profit and loss section. So this includes a capital expenditure of 400. So from the carriage inward, I will subtract the capital expenditure, the carriage inward as per the draft sheet, draft income statement. I will subtract the capital expenditure of 400. This is the expenditure of non-current assets. That means whenever you calculate the figure of your non-current assets, this 400 should be added over there. So I'm just adding it. So what is the capital expenditure that I have to adjust in my cost of sales? It will be 1020 minus 400. 620 is the capital expenditure that has to be adjusted in the cost of sales. You will add this 620. You will add this 620. So this will give you your cost of sales. What is my cost of sales? 182,360 plus 620 minus the 420. Your cost of sales is 182,560. This is corrected cost of sales. Since I have done the correction, we can show this as a working note and incorporate it down. So what I'll do is I will show it as a working note because we have also been given the space for workings. So my working note number 1 would be for cost of sales, which I have adjusted. Working note number 1, cost of sales. Okay. Now I have been given the income statement. Let's see what are the more adjustments if we have anything else before the gross profit to be adjusted. There is depreciation on non-current assets, insurance, something related to the trade receivables, and interest on bank loan. There is nothing else which is related up to the gross profit. So let's arrive at a proper figure of gross profit before moving ahead. Okay, so we have revenue. What is our revenue? We have revenue of 2,74,500 and we have cost of sales that we calculated the revised figure of cost of sales, which is 182,516. So we will get our gross profit as 91,940. Let's incorporate this. So we had our revenue, which was 274,500 less cost of sales. And we have done the working note for cost of sales. So we will write over here working note number 1 for cost of sales. And we arrived at a figure of gross profit. In the gross profit, we will add the income. We see only one income, that was our discount allowed, which was wrongly put over here. So I will add the discount received. Because it is only one item, I will directly put it in the outer column, 820. So what I get is my gross profit, add both of them, 92,760. Now we have to see all the correct expenses that we need to incorporate. I would first incorporate all the correct ones which were there. Or we would go adjustment wise, it's fine. Revenue is done, cost of sales is done, discount received is done, gross profit is done. Let's see the adjustments. Depreciation. Depreciation on all the non-current assets is to be provided at 20% on cost. Full year's depreciation is charged in the year of purchase. So we provide depreciation on non-current assets. My non-current assets is 18,500 and I need to provide 20% depreciation on cost. However, there is this 400, the capital expenditure, which was wrongly included in the carriage inward. And this expenditure was related to the non-current asset. So I added it over here. So the cost of my non-current asset is 18,500 plus 400, which is coming up to 18,900. So I will do depreciation. My second working note, if I want, I can prepare. Depreciation on the non-current assets. It is 20% on cost. What is the cost of the asset? It is 18,500 plus 400 of the capital expenditure, So it becomes 20% of 18,900. So the depreciation is 3780. Okay. So my depreciation is 3780, 20% of 18,900, which would be recorded as an expense. I could show this again as my working. I could show this again as my working because I have spent time on calculation. So first expense that I'm putting is depreciation. And I'm putting working note number 2. Since there are more than one expenses, since there is more than one expense, I will record it in the second column. Let's move ahead. The amount shown for insurance. What is the amount shown for insurance? 1730. The amount showed for insurance as per draft income statement 1730 includes 720 for 6 months period ending 30th April 2020. So this includes 720 for the 6-month period ending 30th April 2020. My year ends in December 2019. That means 720 is for 6 months, that is for sure. But my year ends in December 2019. So January, February, March and April. 4 months is prepaid. 4 months is prepaid. So what is the prepaid? I will calculate. 720 is for 6 months. So what is the amount for 4 months that is prepaid? That has to be subtracted from the insurance. 720 divided by 6 into 4. 480. So what is the expense for insurance for the year? 1730 minus 480. 1250. It is the expense for the insurance for the year. This is my working note number 3. What is my amount for insurance? 1250. So we've already completed with 3 adjustments, 4 adjustments in fact. Let's see the next adjustment. At 31st December 2019, my trade receivables totaled 14,800. So the trade receivables total is 14,800. Okay. A customer who owed 600 has been declared bankrupt. That means this customer is not going to pay you. These are bad debts which you need to subtract from your trade receivables. Bad debts of 600 that you would need to subtract from your trade receivables. They're also called irrecoverable debts. So from 14,800, you would subtract 600 and you would arrive at a figure of 14,200. This is your net trade receivables after subtracting bad debts. But Bad debts is your expense. It needs to be recorded as an expense. I will record it as an expense because it is given directly in the adjustment. So we will record it as an expense. Irrecoverable debts, or we can say bad debts. How much was the bad debts? It was 600. Let's move ahead and read what is given further. Ismail decided to write off his account. And after that, he decided to create a provision for doubtful debts at 5% of trade receivables. 5% of trade receivables. Now the question over here is 5% of this or this. The provision would always be created out of the net trade receivables, the final amount that is lying with you. So I will create 5% provision for doubtful debts of 14,200. 710. So my net trade receivables is 14,200 minus 710. It comes up to 13,490. If in the balance sheet I have to record any figure, I will record this figure. 710. Please remember, it is a percentage of this, that is your trade receivable minus bad debts. This 710, you will check whether there were any old provisions. There is no old provisions. That means this is a loss you have to keep aside from your profits. So you will show this provision for doubtful debts and how you calculate it. You have done the calculation. So I will make it a working note number 4. Provision for bad and doubtful debts. Provision for bad and doubtful debts. It is always created on trade receivables after adjusting for bad debts. Always remember, after adjustment of bad debts, this provision for bad and doubtful debts is created. So I will write provision for doubtful debts. It's working note number 4. So I will write working note number 4 so the examiner can go and refer to the working note. 710. This adjustment is also done. Last adjustment, interest on bank loan is charged at 10%. Look over here very carefully. What is the amount of your bank loan? 4,200. And see over here. 4,200 is your bank loan. So my bank loan is 4,200. Interest on bank loan is at the rate of 10%. 10% is 420. Okay, 10% is 420. So my interest on bank loan that should be shown in the income statement is 420. However, the trial balance has loan interest of only 210. The trial balance has loan interest of only 210. So loan interest as per trial balance is 210. But I need a figure of 420. So other is outstanding expense. One effect is you will add to the expense that I'm adding over here. And the second effect of this outstanding expense, it will be shown in current liability. So what is outstanding? Amount that is outstanding is 210. Okay. So this loan interest 420 should appear in your income statement. Because I have done so much of efforts, I will make it as a working note and this would become my working note number 5. Loan interest. I have done adjustments for the outstanding in the working note. When I write the working note and I do the adjustments in the working note, I do not need to show it separately. So my working note has 420 as loan interest. With this, I have completed all the adjustments. Now I just need to record the things which did not have adjustments but becomes a part of the income statement. That was general expenses and rent. General expenses and rent, everything else had adjustments or were found from adjustments. General expenses and rent. What is the amount of general expenses? 22,280. And amount for rent is 20,250. Amount for general expenses is 22,280 and amount for rent is 20,250. These are all my expenses that I will add and then subtract it from the gross profit added other income, and I would arrive at a figure which would be profit for the year or loss. Let's add all the expenses. It is 3780. Add 1250. Add 600. Add 710. Add 420. Add 22,280. Add 20,250. You come at 49,290. 49,290. This you will subtract from this figure to get a profit for the year. Minus 92,760. So the profit figure is that what I'm getting is 43,470. This is nothing but the profit for the year. So with this, we complete the first part of the income statement that we were asked to prepare. Please note the income statement is carrying 15 marks. So you need to show the workings. You need to show the working. This is paper 21, October, November 2020, the most recent paper that we did. I have shared the MS for reference. I have shared the MS for reference. Now, the next thing that we are asked to calculate, we are asked to calculate the balance on Ismail's capital account. How do we calculate? Capital at start. Capital at start, that is capital at 1st of January 2019. In that, we will add the profits for the year. In that, we would subtract the drawings. So we would get capital at the end. In that, we would subtract the drawings and we will get what? Capital at the end. The profit for the year figure, we already found out. The profit for the year figure, we already found out, which is added to the capital. This is 43,470. Let's see about drawings. Were we given any information about drawings? Let's see. There was one drawings over here, 18,740. In that, I had read the adjustment, 18,740. In that, I had read the adjustment that Ismail had taken goods for own use. So the 420 goods for own use is added. So 19,160 is the figure for your drawings. It is 18,740 plus 420. This goods for own use is added. So I will add it over here. 18,740 740 plus 420, the goods for own use. 18,740 plus 420. It gives us 19,160, and this I would subtract over here. Now I want the capital at the end and capital at the start. How will I get the capital at the start? This is the sum over here. How will I get the capital at the start? If I see, I have, this is my balance sheet. This could be my balance sheet. Here I would put my assets and here I would put my liabilities, and total assets will always be equal to total liabilities. Assets has, this is the opening position on 1st January. Assets has bank 7,500. Assets has non-current assets of 18,500. Okay. And liabilities has bank loan of 4,200. Okay. In the non-current asset, there was one capital expenditure which had to be added on the opening date. So I would include this 400. Let's see what is my total assets. 26,000, no, 7,500 plus 18,500, 26,000. Now this was not accounted for on 1st of January. This is the capital expenditure that I got from adjustment on the last date. So this I would subtract. So the total assets is this, which I know on 1st of January. So the total assets is 26,000. From the 26,000, if you remove your bank loan, you will get the capital at the start. That is the capital on 1st January. So mine is 4,200. I'm getting 21,800. My capital at the beginning of the year. This I can show as a working note. This I can show as a working note. That how did I find the capital? This we can definitely show as a working note that how did we find the capital? We found the capital as a balancing figure. So capital at the start is 21,800. It is not given to us directly. This is found out indirectly. Please remember that. So 21,800 plus 43,470 gives us a figure of 65,270. From that, when I subtract the drawings, that is 19,116, I get the capital at the end, which is 46,110. Now this is for 4 marks. Please note carefully, where do you get 1 mark? 1 mark you get to find the capital, 1 mark to add the profit, 1 mark to deduct the correct drawings, and 1 mark you will get to find the capital at the end. At the end means at 31st of December 2019. So we calculated the balance of Ismail's capital also. What is the next part of the question? Let's see. Ismail would like to expand his business. He needs additional finance of 25,000. And to raise this additional finance of 25,000, he has 2 options. Whether he should apply for bank loan or form a partnership with SEMA. A friend. SEMA would want profit or losses to be shared equally. Advise Ismail which of these options he would choose and justify your answer. Giving you all 2-3 minutes, think for yourself, then I would discuss it. I'm not moving ahead. I'm not asking you to pause. I'm asking you to discuss. Which option should she chooses? Suppose if Ismail, you need to give the advantages and disadvantages of both the options. Suppose if Ismail chooses bank loan, okay? So we will need to give reasons. Now there is 7 marks. 7 points should be there and 1 mark for the decision. Always remember 1 mark would be for the decision or the advice. Suppose if he chooses bank loan, then you can give 3 points that bank loan is a temporary source of finance. Bank loan, if you take a bank loan, then the profits will not be shared. Profits will not be shared. Bank will not interfere with the control of the business. Bank will not interfere with the control of the business. Whereas if she chooses a partnership firm, a partnership with Seema, it would be a permanent source of capital. The profits will be shared and the control of the business would also be shared. However, then you have to give the drawbacks. So 3 points you give over here, 3 points you give over here. You get 2 marks here, 2 marks here. However, if we choose a bank loan, probably Ismail would not be capable of getting a bank loan. He may have to give a security and interest on the bank loan would reduce the profits. However, in partnership, even if interest would not reduce the profits will be shared. And then 1 mark for the suitable advice that you want to give, whether he should take a bank loan or he should expand the business with the help of partnership with Seema. Advice would always be yours. So you can take suitable answers. I have shared the MS for the reference. I have shared the MS so that you'll understand what all things you all can give. Okay, you get 6 marks for justifying whatever advice you want to give and 1 mark for the advice. Okay, let's go to the next question. I want you all to answer along with me. Ismail sees benefit in keeping a full set of accounting records. State 4 benefits of keeping a full set of accounting records. What are the benefits of keeping a full set of accounts? Is one benefit that I can give of keeping a full set of accounting records is it is easier to access the business performance. Easier to access business performance. It helps in effective decision making. It helps in effective decision making. Third, it gives access to more detailed information. And last, we need only 4 points. So it allows comparison with previous years and other businesses. With this, we complete our entire 30-mark question, which is based on income statement. It even does not have the statement of financial position. So if you all remove the question, remove a printout and try to solve it yourself after looking at the video once, or try doing simultaneously, it is definitely going to help you. Thank you. In the next video, we will do another board problem, which is again October, November 20, but paper 23.